Welcome everybody to the 2024 Mini Cooper JCW 1to6 edition. The 1to6 edition, it's like a swan song tribute to the 6-speed manual that Mini offers in this car. It is the final time you can ever buy a 6-speed manual with the Cooper JCW. From now on, it's permanently gone. It's only going to be the 8-speed ZF automatic. So let's see how this final edition of the JCW manual is. So the 1to6 edition, there are no mechanical changes. So if you want to have an in-depth review on the Cooper S JCW manual, then I have done a video and you can find the link to that video on the top of your screen. So yeah, the 1to6, it's a limited edition variant of the JCW, a tribute, because Mini has officially decided to not make the 6-speed manual for this generation of the Cooper ever. In fact, maybe even the future generations of the Cooper JCW, which is a bit of a dampener because the manual has always been for the enthusiasts, and now the enthusiasts will be forced to buy the automatic. It's not a bad thing because the ZF box is very beautifully paired with the engine, but the manual always provided the option if you wanted to take things into your own hand. Other things that make this 1to6 edition stand out compared to the regular JCW are the small badges here and there. So there is some stickering on the bonnet that goes all the way to the roof, which has a shift pattern of 1to6. You have badges on the fender 1to6, you have badges on the C-pillar that says 1to6, and then you have another sticker on the tailgate which has the pattern of 1to6, which is pretty cool. More badges on the inside, on the steering wheel, and some more parts of the interior to remind you that this is an exclusive car, because they are only launching 999 cars for the Canadian market. So that's pretty exclusive if you ask me. In fact, maybe one of the more exclusive cars I have reviewed in a long time. But yeah, otherwise it looks like a traditional Mini, which is never a problem. It's got the round oval headlights, which again is changed for the next generation, and that is already arriving on our showrooms over here, so I'm excited to drive that soon as well. But yeah, this iconic shape, it still looks pretty good many years on, and it drives really well, but more on that later. Behind the wheel of the 2024 Mini JCW 1to6 edition, so let's get the numbers out of the way. They're a bit familiar. So it's a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine, produces 228 horsepower, 6-speed manual, front wheel drive. Let's see how this thing drives. I'm already driving it, and let's floor it. In fact, you know what, let's put a gear down. It has rev match in sport mode. Oh, pulls so fast. It's got lots of torque. Mid-range is so strong. I actually love the way this little car just pulls through the gears. I'm not a big fan of the shifter because I do find it a bit notchy, but just for the enthusiast in me, just the option of a manual is so nice. I am in sport mode, so this does have the optional adaptive suspension. As you can see, I am bouncing. The Toronto Roads Gardner Expressway is not friendly for any sporty car, and in sport mode you can see I'm literally just hopping and jumping. There are drive modes, so I can put it back into mid mode, which is like a comfort mode, balanced mode. In fact, it does say balanced on the MID. And then you can put it into green mode, which is minimalism, so it completely dials down the car. You're in its most fuel economy setting. It's so laid back, so chilled out. In fact, even I floor it in 6th gear and it pulls. There's no turbo lag, but the tune difference is so prominent. So I just floored it in 6th gear in eco and I didn't feel anything. And then if I put it into sport mode and if I floor it, and you can just see it, the turbo is just that much more eager, much more ready to just jump off. Turbo lag is well controlled, so you don't actually have to hunt through the gears to make an overtake or anything. You can just pull from 5th or 6th, whichever you gear in. You don't have to downshift, which is good. Less playing with the gear lever, which I also don't like the design, to be honest. I wish a better designed gear lever would really uplift the driving experience. The driving position is amazing. You're really low, hunkered down. You can still see the hood. You have a heads-up display as well. The steering in sport weighs up so nicely, so it's literally, and this is a very cliche statement, so forgive me for saying it again and again, but it is literally a go-kart on wheels. It's so fun. It's a little bit of a chunky steering wheel, but it's so nice and agile. I can just change lanes so quickly. It's so nice. I've always loved the Mini Cooper of this generation. I've driven now, I think this is like the 5th or 6th Cooper that I'm reviewing, and every single one of them, I'm so happy. It just leaves a big smile on my face. And you know the bonus, if you cruise on the highway like a sane person, you can get up to 7.58 liters per 100. I've been driving it only in sport because the exhaust valves open up, you hear much more intake noises, turbo spools, and I've still been getting about 9.5 liters per 100 mixed, and I've been also facing a lot of heavy bumper to bumper traffic. So it's just the perfect package. It's so nice. Like, I'm in sport mode right now and everything is filtered in, so for this very bad patch I can go back into maybe mid, and I can feel that it soaks the bumps a bit better. The travel of the suspension gets a bit better. It just soaks up stuff much easier. But yeah, just the dual personality, and if I floor it, and it just pulls. I'm not even putting a gear down. That's the beauty. And this has rev match, so if I go from 6th to say 3rd, and the rev match just puts me back, and you have a bit of bumped in noise for sure, but there is some real noises on the outside, and it sounds so good. No fake pops and bangs or anything, just intake noises, turbo noises, exhaust noises with a bit of pumped in, but that's acceptable in today's day and age. It's just so good. What can I say? Absolutely love the Cooper S, and this will be one tough goodbye. In conclusion then, the 2024 Mini JCW Manual 1to6 edition, well, it still retains all its core strong points that the JCW has always had. I think it looks really good. It's decently spacious for 4 people, pretty economical on fuel. It looks very radical. The interior is very cool as well. It's got a decent boot as well. What can I say? It's just very good. Did I say? It's very fun as well. I've been driving this in city, on the highway, on the B roads, and it just does everything so well. The 1to6 edition brings in a lot of cool differentiation on the visual front as well. So you've got lots of badges to know that this is the final edition of the manual they're ever going to make. From next year onwards, it's only going to be the automatic. I'm not sure if that makes me happy or sad, because as much as I like the manual, it brings in a lot of fun. This manual is not my personal favorite because of how the gearbox works. It's a bit too notchy for my liking. So I've always said that for the Mini, I always prefer the automatic. But if you are the one who likes the manual, then I think you should go right now and buy one, because this is literally your last chance to enjoy a JCW with a manual. At $56,000 Canadian with all the options that the 1to6 edition brings, it's a bit more expensive than regular JCW, but it's a price you'll have to pay for exclusivity, because they are bringing only 999 cars to Canada. So if you want one, go for it right now.